My disbelief turned into shock as he explained.
We became a couple during the trip.
No way. That's a lie. They must have been involved way before that trip. Sorry for stealing your wonderful husband, Erica said with a sarcastic tone that just irked me further. What do you think you're doing? I asked Victor, now surprisingly calm. Shrugging, he declared.
I'm a catch. I deserve someone better than you. I don't want to spend the rest of my life with a woman like you.
So that's how it is. No apologies, no love, just cold dismissal. Realizing I no longer existed in his world, I felt a strange sense of clarity. Fine, but I expect a fair settlement for alimony and child support. I stated firmly.
Huh, that's all it takes to be rid of you? I'll pay whatever you want.
He scoffed. And just like that, our marriage was over. It was surprisingly straightforward. After that, things got busy. First up, finding a new place to live. I decided to rent an apartment nearby until my daughter graduated. Right after graduation, we were set to move back to my hometown. I sought out a lawyer to handle the divorce proceedings and consult on everything needed. Negotiations with Victor went smoothly, perhaps because he wanted the divorce over with quickly. Being in a decent management position, the alimony and child support payments weren't an issue for him. I got lucky there. He agreed to all my terms without fuss. The alimony and child support were paid in a lump sum, just as I had hoped. The division of our joint property went off without a hitch. He kept the house, and I took the savings. Honestly, the house was worth more, but I let it go. The alimony was more than I had expected after all. And so my daughter and I left the house. What really got under my skin was Erica showing up just as our stuff was being loaded into the moving truck. A moving truck of our own in tow. Still here? Still hung up on Victor, I see, she said, making assumptions. Hurry up and leave, old lady. I'm going to live here and be all lovey-dovey with your ex-husband, she had the nerve to say. Yeah, do whatever you want, I replied, indifferent. My feelings for him were long gone. I just waved and walked away without a word. What was that all about? Dad's got terrible taste in women. Mom, I'm glad you divorced him, my daughter said. Her words were a comfort, and so began our life together, just the two of us. I soon realized something. There was an indescribable sense of liberation. No more nagging husband. No more husband who prioritized a childhood friend over his own family. What a relief. Seriously, getting divorced was the best decision. I couldn't help but murmur. A few months later, my daughter graduated from elementary school. And on the day we were finally moving back to my hometown, Erica, now my ex-husband's new wife, showed up at our apartment. What's this all about? I asked, surprised. Through tears, she blurted out, "Help me." Dragging her inside, she exploded. What's his deal? Who? I asked. Your husband, she cried. Oh, my ex-husband. What about him? I prodded. She ranted about how insufferable he'd become, a far cry from before. What's with him? He was never like that, but ever since we started living together, he's gone completely mad. She started. If he wants waffles and muffins for breakfast that much, he should make them himself. Is instant coffee not good enough? People can live without cleaning, right? Why can't I buy what I like? She complained, clearly fed up with my ex's antics. And he's just so picky, she added. He says he wants light meals, so I buy light meals. Then he wants something rich. It's ridiculous. He said he wanted a blue tie, so I got him an expensive one from a famous brand. But then he tells me he wanted a cheaper purple one. What the hell? I get déjà vu hearing this. It's also familiar. He complains about the weather, how the wind's not blowing from the right direction, making him grumpy. Really? She continued. Yup, I remembered those days. And then, looking at my face, he says my makeup is Interesting. What's that supposed to mean? She raged, to which I inadvertently replied. Interesting? More like heavy. Careful or you'll get wrinkles from all that frowning. She clutched her face, perhaps recognizing herself in my words. And another thing, she trailed off, shaking with anger. Just how much does he love women? She exclaimed. Oh, you didn't know? I asked. Wait, you knew? Well, yes, I'm his ex-wife. Yes, my husband loved women, but it was mostly harmless flirtation. At least, it used to be. It's not just flirting. He's been lavishing gifts on women he dates. Oh, really? That's new to me. But it makes sense. He probably gained confidence after being with you, I reasoned. In other words, he got cocky. I knew him well. He must have thought he was more appealing than he really was after winning Erica over. What? What do you mean? She shrieked at my words. I wish she'd keep it down. The walls here are paper thin. He's been splurging on women just to get their attention, and now he's broke. Well, that's quite the situation. When I asked for living expenses, he told me to get a job too, she complained. Maybe you should, I suggested. No way. That would be just like my first marriage, she protested. So she didn't do housework or work during her first marriage either, living off her ex-husband's money until they divorced. She probably thought she could have an easy life with Victor's income. Too bad for you. If it's that bad, why not just divorce him? You've been through it once already. Doing it again won't make much difference. Surprisingly, she replied. I can't. If I divorce again, I'll have nowhere to go. Why's that? Well, the first divorce was one thing, but this time I married by stealing someone's husband. My parents were furious and kicked me out. Well. That's karma for you, I thought to myself, not wanting to get tangled in her mess. If I divorce again, I'll really have nowhere to go, she repeated. Why not stand on your own 2 feet and get a job? Absolutely not. I don't want to work, she declared. Well, that's your problem, I said, nearly at my wit's end. If we weren't in such a small apartment, I would have screamed. So I'm giving him back to you. If he returns to you, it won't be considered stealing anymore. Maybe then I can go back home. She figured. No thanks, he's non-returnable, I flatly refused. Then what am I supposed to do? That's not my concern, I replied, fed up. What is this, some kind of joke? How irresponsible. And what about you, coming to the wife of the man you stole, crying for help? I don't get your logic, I said, done with the conversation. Holding the last of my belongings, a small bag, I looked back at her just as she realized the apartment was empty. And what's this? You're moving? Yes, if I stayed near your place, you might keep showing up like this. I'm moving back to my hometown, in line with my daughter's middle school entrance. Huh? What am I supposed to do then? She was at a loss. I have some parting words for you, I said, smiling gently. Oh, what's that? She asked, swallowing nervously. Serves you right, I said calmly. At that, she collapsed to the floor. I left her speechless outside the door, turning my back on her and heading back to my hometown, where my parents and daughter had already moved. The start of a new chapter in my beloved hometown. Later, I heard through the grapevine that my ex had blown all his money on hostess bars, leading to bankruptcy. Desperate, he even dipped into company funds and got himself arrested. As for Erica, she ended up arrested and decided on divorce, but her parents refused to take her back, leaving her penniless and alone. That's the story a year after our divorce. This is exactly what you'd call a downfall in life. As for me, I'm living happily in an apartment near my family home, enjoying life with my daughter. Returning to work in my hometown has been challenging, but fulfilling. Without my ex-husband to nag me, and with my daughter now in middle school and as cute as ever, our days are full of joy.